Hey everybody, what's up?
Zero.
JTH, and we are going to be beginning part 5 of our reaction to Princess Lunaughty. So here we go, let us begin part 5. It wasn't long before all the guards that Celestia brought with her were calming the town for Luna's presence. Not only that, but all the main 6 were also using their knowledge of the town and its ponies to their advantage. So far nothing had come up. When Pinkie Pie and 3 royal guards were walking down the street, they saw a strange mare walking into the building, one Pinkie didn't recognize. "Are you sure about this, Miss Pie?" asked one of the guards as they approached the doors of the strange mare from before entered. "Sure as sugar," Pinkie Pie exclaimed. "I know every pony in this town, and I mean every pony. But I've never seen a pony like that before or anywhere else. So maybe it's actually Princess Luna, the disguise that she's using to fool other ponies so she can lead them into dark secret places and trap them and transform herself.
Niche.
And then put them to sleep and go back to doing it again anytime she wants."
Niche, lols.
After that usually long sentence, Pinkie took a large inhale before continuing. "So, if I'm right, then we'll have found Princess Luna."
Lols.
Right. Well, let's hope your senses are correct on this. The guard turned his head to one of the guards beside him and whispered, "This filly's a nut."
Lols. That's just short for LOL. I say lols.
This filly's a nut. Not hearing the hushed insult, Pinkie Pie proceeded to open the door of the building with the sign that read Melody's Midnight Mares and began down a flight of stairs. At the bottom of the door was another door, as well as the coherent sound of music and talking inside. Already Pinkie Pie began to recognize some of the voices, yet a couple of them stood out to her as well, one she did not recognize. No, not wanting time to waste, however, she stopped listening and immediately opened the door to the club, the 3 guards close behind her. Upon entering, they were greeted with light jazz music being played on a record player, as well as light conversation all around the club. Mares from around the town were clustered here and there on some tables with meals and drinks, while others were at a couple of pool tables and comfortable, relaxing chairs or at the bar. When Pinkie Pie and the guards had entered, however, it looked only for a few seconds at every pony in the club to stop and look directly at them, which is exactly what Pinkie Pie wanted. In an instant, her eyes began darting over the face of every pony in the room, looking over the next one as soon as she realized who it was. There was a mare who ran a flower shop, one who had with the hair supplies, one who had at the news station, and one who made with the main like toothpaste. And aha! Pinkie Pie exclaimed suddenly as her eyes locked onto the mare's spine before them. In the blink of an eye, she was across the room and at the bar, standing right next to the mare who had just been talking with Colgate and Carrot Top. The two she knew were sitting on bar stools with half-finished drinks on the bar, while a mare of interest was standing before them, looking as she had just been in a serious discussion with them. "You!" Pinkie Pie pointed with a hoof at the mystery pony. "Me?" The sapphire blue maned pony with the sky blue highlight and violet coat stammered, backing up slightly. "Yeah, you!" Pinkie Pie exclaimed again, her still pointing at the mystery pony. "Who are you, and what are you doing here in Ponyville?" "What? The pony looked at the royal guards behind Pinkie and seemed to get startled from their presence. Then she looked to the side at Carrot Top and Colgate before starting again. "I'm just visiting the town. Me and my sisters. I didn't do anything wrong, did I?" "Oh yeah? What's your name?" Pinkie's left eye seemed to extend towards the strange pony as her right eye closed. "Starshine. Starshine Brightglow." Starshine stared at Pinkie's eyes, seeming to wonder how it could stretch like that. "She's Pinkie Pie! Right?"
Yep.
"Okay, Starshine, where are your sisters?" Pinkie's eyes stretched longer as Starshine's head reared back slightly. Well, I guess they're not here right now," Starshine gulped loudly, her eyes darting side to side as if she was about to panic. "Well, actually," interrupted Colgate, causing Pinkie's eye to go back into the socket correctly as she looked over. "We saw one of her sisters earlier. I think her name is, like, Disco Lens or something?" "Yeah, she was here," Carrot Top added. "She went up with Derpy Hoops and Shirley earlier, but before that Starshine was here, and she ran off with Barry Punch." "So where is Barry anyways?" Pinkie asked, cocking an eyebrow. "That's what Starshine was just here to tell us," Colgate began again. "She came in saying about Barry, then you guys barged in here." Yes. I was just about to talk to them about her, of course," Starshine said, a bit of a bead of sweat trickling down her forehead. But why are you here anyways? Neither me nor my sister have done anything wrong, have we?" Actually, as one, I thought that was Pinkie Pie. Actually, said the guard as he took a step forward, we have been recently informed that Princess Luna has been afflicted by a mental disorder and may be in Ponyville right now, causing trouble. Colgan and Terraptop proceeded to gasp, but Starshine looked as if she had been pushed into a corner. Miss Pie is here to help us find the princess. We can capture her and get her back to normal, and she believes that Luna may have used her magic to change her form as a type of disguise. That's right, Pinky said, taking a step towards Starshine, who then gulped loudly. I know every pony in Ponyville, and I mean every pony, except for you. Once more, Pinky pointed directly at Starshine, who took another step back. So what exactly are you doing in Ponyville?
Caught.
Visiting, Starshine pleaded, her flank pressed against the seat. Just visiting, I swear. Visiting who? Pinky's eyes narrowed, staring straight into those of Starshine and Brightglow, who started to sweat more. Just a relative of mine. My cousin, to be exact. And who is your cousin? I'm sure I know them, if you can tell me if you're telling the truth, or if you're just being a lousy liar pants. Oh, Pinkie Pie and her clever words. The guards behind Pinkie Pie looked at each other, and then at the situation unfolding before them. They had to admit the pink one was a bit crazy at times, but they knew in their minds that her tactics were certainly paying off. If this pony was Luna in disguise, they could end their search and alert Celestia immediately, seeing as the mystery pony was having such a hard time answering Pinkie's questions directly. Each of them got into a immediately ready stance just in case it turned out to be right. Starshine shuddered, trying to find a way out of her situation. My relative, I'm her cousin, came a voice from behind Pinkie and the guards. All the ponies, including Colgan and Carrot Top, sitting on their bar stools, looked over to see a pony who had just claimed kinship to Starshine, and both of them, including Pinkie Pie and Starshine, had a look of surprise on all their faces.
Berry Punch.
Berry Punch? Colgan and Carrot Top asked as they both stared dumbfounded at their very promiscuous pony friend.
Oh, God.
Yep, Berry Punch said happily as she approached. While me and Starshine were out earlier, she told me that she was looking for her cousin's place and that Mom hadn't given her the best description for me. Berry moved around the guards, and Pinkie Pie stood directly next to Starshine, who also had a very dumbfounded look on her face. That's why she didn't recognize me right away. But yeah, Starshine here's my cousin, same with the sister. Isn't that right, cuz? Well, yes, of course. Starshine suddenly had a confident look on her face, mixed with a bit of relief and confusion as well. Berry Punch is this colonized cousin, and we're here to visit her, of course. Pinkie Pie looked at Starshine, then at Berry Punch. Then back at Starshine again. She repeated this a few more times before finally stopping on Starshine and then narrowing her eyes, her face growing intensely serious as she stared at the mare. Their eyes locked, and Starshine once more began to sweat, trying to put on the best reassuring smile she could. Pinkie stared harder, her eyes seeming to stare straight into Starshine's soul, trying to pry out any other sort of information. But at that moment, Pinkie Pie's gaze became almost unbearable. She stopped suddenly. Okie dokie dokie! She said and began to back up, turning around and a few seconds later walking out towards the door. Starshine sighed for a brief moment before Pinkie's face was suddenly against hers, her eyes staring straight at her again. A moment later, her face began pulling away slowly and menacingly, as if expecting to make some sort of mistake and blow some sort of cover, but Starshine didn't, and Pinkie ultimately walked away as soon afterwards, the guards following behind her. Once again, Starshine's back turned around, meeting questionable faces from Colgate and Carrot Top. So wait, you two are actually related? Colgate said, breaking the silence. Yep, that's correct, Berry Punch smiled. Then wait, Carrot Top interjected. If you two were all into each other earlier, doesn't that mean... Heh, well, what can I say? I sure do know how to pick 'em, Berry laughed softly, smiling cheerfully at her friend, who simply exchanged mildly disgusted looks with each other. Ugh, that reminds me of that time you did it with Cherylee, Carrot Top mentioned with a slight gag in her voice.
You what?
Hey, Cherylee's hot, and it's not my fault. It was only after we got in bed I found out she was my sister. Oh my, Starshine said and raised it to her mouth, a blush appearing on her face. Barry, you certainly are the most promiscuous pony in town, aren't you? Yeah,
Wait a minute, Shirley and Berry Punch are married? I mean, our sisters? Ugh.
Yeah, I do get that a lot. Berry Punch smiled brightly again before turning to Starshine. Hey, can I talk to you in private real fast? There's something I have to tell you. Me? Oh, of course. Let's go over to the table in the corner. And no, I mean outside. Because Barry's face suddenly turned serious, her eyes darting back and forth between Starshine and her two other friends at the bar. Sure, no problem. Let's go. Starshine said, already taking a step forward towards the door. In a matter of seconds, both ponies took out to the door, leaving Carrot Top and Colgate alone at the bar once more.
We're always being left alone.
After a period of awkward silence, the two once more turned back to their drinks, neither sure exactly how to process what happened. Hey, Carrot Top, Colgate said, breaking... Pardon me.
You alright?
Yeah. Hey, Carrot Top, Colgate said, breaking the silence. Yeah? I got a feeling this is gonna be another one of those days.
Nights.
It said days.
I understand, but that's night. Yeah, I corrected it.
Over here, Starshine, Barry punched said, leading Starshine into an alleyway. When Starshine moved in, Barry peeked her head out for a few moments, making sure no pony saw them, then went back to the cover of the alley. Before Starshine could say anything, however, Barry immediately planted a deep, wet kiss on Starshine's lips, surprising the disgusted mare.
Oh, I'll see who it is.
I will.
Might be my mother.
No, it's DirecTV.
Oh.
Don't hang up.
I don't want your DirecTV.
Surprising the disgusted mare. There, that's better, Barry said after pulling away from the kiss. You can stop the act now, Princess. It's safe to let go of the disguise. Oh my god! Barry punched saved Luna's ass.
Yep.
Take that off. Very well, Starshine said in Luna's voice. In a few minutes her figure lit up, her body growing and morphing back into Princess Luna, her original form. That surprised us back there, Barry. Why did you pack us up like that? And I will scroll down to the end of this paragraph. Oh, my mistress, do you really think I would let you get taken away like that? Barry smirked at Luna and continued on once again before Luna could reply. I woke up a little while ago and noticed you were gone, so I decided to look for you since I had such a great time. While walking around, I saw you trotting back to the bar in your Starshine disguise, so I followed from a distance. When I saw you went in, I saw Pinkie Pie and some guards go in after you, so I knew something was up. Barry paused for a moment. She looked out the alley again, checking once more to make sure the coast was clear. So I just followed in after the guards, making sure they didn't see me, and then I saw you were in trouble. I knew if they found it was really you, they would take you away, and I may not ever be able to have fun with you again. So here you just say you were visiting relatives. I just made up the cousin thing. Smart, huh?
Niche.
Luna was surprised, to say the least. She never expected one of her victims to actually come back to help her, especially after what happened to Celestia when she went on her rampage. But this pony was different. This was... I can use this pony, Luna thought to herself. This is my ticket to finishing what I started here. Now I have an ally that can back me up and get me out of situations I wouldn't normally be able to get out of. Oh, this is amazing. I'm going to have to reward this subject later on with something very special. Mickey. We are pleased that you are so willing to help us, Barry Punchless said with a grateful smile on her face. My mission here in Ponyville is not yet complete, therefore I still need to get back to a few targets. Will you be willing to help me in my endeavors? Oh yes, my mistress. Your wish is my command.
Niche.
Barry Punch looked up to Luna, her eyes filled with stars like a young school filly looking up at a rock star.
Yeah.
Very well, Luna's horn lit up slightly, a magic spell forming a small hair clip that fit snug into a piece of Barry Punch's hair. It was a dark blue gem with a light silver outlining. It also had Luna's nighttime insignia imprinted on the middle of the gem. We will need to meet up again, Luna explained. When the time comes, you will press down on that gem upon completing a mission. That will tell us to come to you. If you need to come to us, the gem on your hair clip will blink lightly with a soft tone, while feeding magic into your mind, telling you our location. Wow, Barry looked up at the gem upon her hair, inspecting it closely. It's so pretty. Thank you, my mistress.
Ay, ay, ay.
I can't believe Barry Punch is actually going to help this. This is so wrong, yet so awesome. The pleasure is all ours, Luna, smiling her head close towards Barry's, whose lips began to pucker. We must Tucker, we must go now and find a certain pony we have decided to have fun with earlier. Do you understand? Yes, my mistress, Barry said, almost a whisper as she looked up at Luna, hoping for a kiss from her sweet lips. What I want from you, my dear subject. Luna placed a hoop over Barry's chin and nudged her face even closer, just a couple inches separating their lips, is to get Colgate and Carrot Top out of that club and out somewhere private. Think you can do it? Of course. Whatever you say, mistress. Barry watched as Luna slowly closed her eyes, and she followed suit as Luna pressed their lips together. The kiss was quick but sweet and tender, almost as if the two were lovers, their tongues visibly separating their mouths when Luna pulled back.
Blimey.
I must go for now, for that there might not be much time left. Luna looked around him a few times, then back at Barry Punch. You know your mission. Do not fail me, my faithful subject. I promise, my mistress of the night, I will not fail you.
Damn, Barry, you horny.
The dirty mare. Princess Celestia, a guard announced as he approached. Twilight Sparkle found a few other guards and found some pony on the street that claims to have had an encounter with Luna. Then let us make haste, Celestia said, seeing the guard immediately turn back around and fly off towards the scene as Celestia followed close behind. Now that some pony had been found, a trail of breadcrumbs could be...
Niche.
Fly. I hate those things. A trail of breadcrumbs could be followed, and soon they would be at an end to this whole charade. Celestia thought momentarily how she might approach her sister, but before she got too deep in thought, she noticed they were already approaching the site. Twilight Sparkle, clearly visible on the ground next to another mare and two other guards.
Wonder who it is.
In another few seconds, they had landed and approached the pony, who still looked shaken from her ordeal. Is this how Twilight's friends felt after I used them? Princess! Twilight called out as she looked up to her mentor. What is the situation, Twilight? Celestia asked as she approached, looking down at Twilight and then at the pony beside her, who had her head down and was shaking slightly. This is Charlie. She's the school teacher for the Phillies here in Ponyville. When we were searching around, I saw her come out of the school building crying, and when I talked to her... Celestia! Charlie sprang out of her same position, launching herself towards the princess. Not even the guards could believe what they had just witnessed, as Charlie planted a large wet kiss on Celestia's lips.
Yeesh.
Her neck was held tightly by Charlie's forehead as the teacher tried to slip her tongue past Celestia's lips. What the hell?
Huh? I'm confused.
With her eyes wide and her cheeks rosy red, Celestia managed to pull her back from the clearly distraught mare. Charlie, when the name of Twilight was at a loss for words, her hoofs shuffling uncontrollably, she didn't realize the kind of assault she just made on the princess. All three guards around the area were frozen still, their jaws flat on the ground as they stared in disbelief. They watched as Charlie flung herself forward again, tightening her grip around Celestia and kissing her more while her lower body seemed... Oh my god. This time Charlie's tongue unsuccessfully cleared Celestia's lips and
You didn't read it.
Because I didn't want to.
Her body seemed to hump the goddess's left leg.
This time Charlie's tongue had successfully cleared the princess's lips as it dangled around the inside of the goddess's mouth.
What the hell?
Enough! Celestia called out finally, using her magic to separate her and the teacher, floating the mare in front of her. That was unnecessary.
I'm so confused.
She tried her best to hide the radiant blush on her cheeks. Charlie, Twilight fell back on her haunches, unable to pour unconcerned thoughts of her mind after witnessing what she just said. You just... Celestia on the lips and... your body? Twilight blinked a few times and looked up at Celestia's face. Why are you blushing?
Why the fuck do you think?
It was that scream that knocked the guards out of their state of shock, and all of them immediately pouncing on her and pulling out of Celestia's magical grasp while pinning her to the ground. Celestia looked down, her mouth opened slightly as if she lifted a hoop up to hide a bit of saliva from her lips. Twilight shook her head vigorously, shaking herself out of her own state of shock. She looked first at the guards piled on top of Charlie, and then at Celestia, who simply looked as if she was deep in thought, then back at Charlie. Cheerilee, what were you thinking? She says as she approached signaling the guards to get off her. Hesitantly, the guards pulled off the mare as Twilight continued. What Equestria has gotten into your head? The princess, Cheerilee gasped, sitting upwards and staring at Celestia. But we want... Celestia tastes so good, almost like Mistress Luna. Is she casting a mind control spell on them or something after that happens?
I don't know, but something's happening. I was gonna say something's going on. That after they boink her, they like. So I don't know. That's cool.
I don't know.
Mistress Luna.
Mistress Luna? Twilight reared her head back, staring at Cheerilee as if she was some sort of psychomaniac. Cheerilee, what happened? Cheerilee of Ponyville, Celestia called out in a demanding voice as she approached the mare. Tell us what happened in your encounter with my sister. But I just... Please, Celestia. Cheerilee seemed as if she was tearing slightly. Oh my god. Read this.
I just want to do you, Celestia.
Oh my lord.
I think that when Luna had sex with them and like transported that like sexual.
Oh my god. Cheerily, Celestia said in a loud voice that rang with seduction. Oh, that is a question mark at the end of it. Tell me everything you know. One of her hooves reached over and slid against underside Cheerilee's chin. I will give you everything you want out of me and my sister.
Derp.
Twilight couldn't believe what she was hearing as she watched the events unfold in front of her. She got some strange feeling that she might find herself in the center of all of this again. Then she saw Celestia smile and wink at Twilight, giving her a new idea of what Celestia was doing. Do you mean that? Cheerilee's eyes were wide, stars dazzling inside them as she stared up at Celestia, who simply nodded her head. Okay. I met Luna at this club, Melody's Midnight Mares. Twilight's ears perked up. She had been there before. I went there with Derpy and we were talking with these two other mares, Carrot Top and Colgate. Again, Twilight reacted as she heard the names of the ponies she knew and opening her eyes a bit wider. Then this pony came in. I'd never seen her before. She said her name was Disca Lens. She came in saying she was here to visit her sister, Starshine. Mare I don't know. Starshine? Celestia asked. What do you know about this mare? Nothing really. To be honest, she was just in the club earlier and ran off with Berry Punch. Anyways, she talked to me and Derpy into walking into the schoolhouse with her, and on our way out, Derpy left to go to bed at her home. Then me and her went inside. She turned into Princess Luna. She trapped me onto one of the desks and Jesus. Shirley fell on her back, her hooves sliding over herself across her chest and between her haunches in the most lewd ways.
She's plopping.
God damn it. Oh, by reading, if this happens to every pony she's done, oh, this is gonna break me.
Why? Oh.
Especially if that happens to Derpy.
Oh, dear God, don't even say that.
I see. Celestia looked down at the mare, staring at her intensively. Now tell me. I have to know the answer truthfully. Did you resist at first? At first? Charlie stopped and looked at Celestia and sat straight up again. Well, yes, I didn't want it at first, but Luna's touch. It felt so good. Again, Shirley's hooves began to slide and stroke around suggestive areas of her body.
Guards are probably in the back jacking off. Just like, oh my god.
Then it is as I thought, Celestia whispered to herself before turning to the three guards. You three, split up and find the other guard squads. Tell them exactly what Shirley just told us, and leave no detail out.
Yes, Your Highness.
Yes, Your Highness. The guards were playing unison before they all took flight, heading in different directions across Ponyville. Twilight, Celestia said, and turned her attention towards her pupil. Escort Shirley home and ensure that she does not get herself into any more trouble. But Shirley spoke up. What about letting me and you... Yes, Princess. I'll see what I can do, Twilight replied as her voice relaying her apparent uncertainty. I'm going to this club Shirley was talking about. Come find me there when you are done. Let us pray that we are not too late to save the other ponies. Celestia spread her wings and was about to take flight when she heard Twilight come up beside her. But wait, Celestia, Twilight spoke up. Why did Shirley start to... like what happened to her? I told you that Luna is acting differently than I was when I did this. She's affecting her victims somehow in a way I didn't. It's intriguing, really. I hope I can find out how Luna did it, so when we capture her, might be able to reverse it. Right, I can see how that makes sense. Twilight paused briefly, then looked back at Shirley, who was looking sad for not being able to have the princess how she wanted. Twilight shivered slightly and thanked Celestia in her mind that she never knew that that she was never that obsessed with her. Looking forward again, she watched as Celestia took off and flew back towards the center of Ponyville, obviously beginning her search for the club mentioned earlier. Twilight sighed softly and then returned to Cheerilee. Come on, let's see if we can get you home. Will Celestia be there waiting for me? Twilight face-hoofed. A strange noise awoke the little filly?
Oh dear. Oh god. Oh no. Please don't tell me.
Oh no, please don't tell me that little filly's Dinky.
Oh dear.
She leaned up in her bed and wiped the sleep out of her eyes. She heard a bit of a noise, a bit more clearly now that she was waking up a bit more. A strange creaking noise coming from another room. She got out of her bed, wiping her eyes with her hooves, a bit more of a crawling to the floor. Getting up, giving a small stretch, she proceeded to the door of her bedroom. It is Dinky. It says here Dinky.
Oh dear God. No, please tell me no. No, Luna, no.
Dinky hooves opened the door, now able to hear the strange noises coming from her mom's room. She tried to peer through the darkness of her home and was able to see that the door to her mom's bedroom was slightly ajar. Her curiosity piqued. Little Dinky made her way down the short hallway. She began to hear some other noises too.
Oh no.
The creaking noise continued, turning rhythmically as it happened over and over again. There was also some sort of talking or breathing or something like that coming from the other side. It says Derby here. I think he meant to put Dinky. Dinky stuck her ear towards the opening of the door. She was able to hear her mom on the inside.
Derp. Ah, derp. No, derp. What the derp is she derping doing? Derp. Derp.
That was random.
Why the derp not?
The noises sounded desperate to Dinky, like her mom was in trouble. Dinky didn't know what was going on, but she wanted to know. She wanted to help her mom. She placed her front hooves on the door and pushed it open. A gasp escaping her mouth when she saw the moonlight feeding through the open window and what was inside.
Oh God.
Some pony with big sparkly hair was on top of her mom, the two bouncing up and down on the bed, making it creak. The sheets were twisted tight and the restraints on Derpy as her limbs were tangled around the pony on top of her. Dinky couldn't see the other pony's face. Now, who the crap is that?
Might be my mom.
No, it's an unavailable number.
What was the number on it?
It was unavailable.
Oh yeah, it's not, I don't know who it is.
Tangled around the pony on top of her. Dinky couldn't see the other pony's face, but she saw her mom's face, and it was filled with fear and dismay. It was then that Derpy noticed her daughter at the door, her eyes looking at her pleadingly, as if she somehow managed to spit the gag that was in her mouth out.
Oh no.
Rum Muffin was all Derpy managed to say before magic forced the gag back into her mouth. The figure on top of her turned its head just then, its eyes glowing with a menacing smile on its face.
Oh no.
Dinky backed up, her eyes wide with fear as she stared back at the pony staring at her, its body still bouncing on her mom. Dinky's mind scrambled as she held on to the last thing she heard her mom say, and did it. In an instant, she turned flank and ran, first through the hallway, then to the front door, and then out through Ponyville. She didn't know where she was going, but she didn't care. What her mom told her. Tears began streaming from her eyes as she hoped her mommy would be okay.
Oh, fucking A.
Back in the house, Derpy Hooves looked back up at her assailant, her eyes still pleading, with one of them looking off in another direction. Luna continued to smile and continue to dominate the helpless male mare.
Oh my
End
tits.
Part 5.
What the fuck?
At least
she got away.
I know. I would have been distraught if she got Dinky.
Oh, that would have been terrible. I'd be like, no.
Because I'm telling you, that would definitely cross the line into child molesting.
Oh, you tink.
Yeah, I don't tink. I know.
Let's go. All right. Real Zero.
This is JTH.
And Zero.
Goodbye, and we will see you in Part 6.